You guys ever seen Notorious?
Which one?
1946.
Yeah, that's the movie you made us watch.
The movie you're making me watch today is 1946, Notorious, directed by.
I've also seen the other Notorious, which was doo-doo.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't. A lot
Not
of
good.
music biopics are kind of meh.
Have you seen
It's
Elton
true.
John's?
That one's good.
Yes,
So
that was pretty good.
So
That was pretty good. The one that was made like a year before the about Queen was doo-doo also.
Yeah.
That was not as good.
I never got through it. It was so bad.
It was
The
so
ending
bad.
is the best part. That performance is actually super
Yeah,
dope when they like
because
recreate
it's like
the
shot for
performance,
shot,
but
like
it's
you
like-
know. For,
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing
but-
that I don't understand about why everyone went off on that. There's already a recording of the real thing.
You're
Why
right.
do
You're
like
right.
who cares? The
You're right.
audience is fake in the new one. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, the
It's
the
well
original
done.
one pretty
It's very
impressive.
much- It's almost shot for shot too.
Just-
you know what though?
They're both. Yeah, and it
Just
made
shot
me
for
watch.
shot remake
the
it and
original
then
still.
remake it in with fake people. Come on, and he's not
You know
even
what?
singing. Come on.
You know what though? A lot of kids who probably heard about this movie that are like 12 years old and under, or 15 years old and under, probably never saw that. So this is maybe their first introduction to that.
What, Notorious or the Queen movie?
The Queen concert. That
There's
we're
got to
talking
be an
about.
introduction. Maybe it is, and if that did it, then that's great. But
That's what I mean.
it
Yeah.
my
definitely
introduction
made
was
me-
finding Wembley. I found
Yeah.
a DVD of Wembley Stadium performance unopened in our telephone drawer. I don't know if you remember,
Wow.
but we used to have telephones on the wall.
Like phone books, like
And
phone
there was
books.
a
in the
drawer.
drawer.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
need those. They're kind of
Yeah.
catch-alls,
Yeah, yeah.
catch-all drawers. But
They've come to be. Yeah.
Hey,
I always remember
hey, so
opening that
fun
drawer and
fact.
it being there being a DVD in there, still wrapped, of a black guy on stage. Yeah, I thought Freddie Mercury was black until I popped that DVD.
Why? What, why?
player.
Why? Did
Well,
you look black?
he looks black on that
he's
cover.
South African, to be fair. He's an African American, African English.
He is an African American. But on the cover, in my childish eye, I don't know. I think he was silhouetted, and I just assumed he was black. I don't know why.
Maybe it's the mustache.
Maybe
Fun
he has a
fact,
super
so-
black mustache.
When Haig left to go back to Jersey, he left me with an end table. And this end table opens. And the other day, for the first time in 2 years since Haig's been gone, I opened up this end table. And
Shout out to Haig.
Shout out to Haig. We're
Schwartz
about to see
is going
Haig's dildo.
Off screen. Is it? What's your guess, Anthony? If we have time for guess, we don't have time.
I'm
Ooh.
guessing it's an Ace Ventura VHS.
Hold
That's
on.
what I'm
Wow,
Hold on,
great
Anthony.
guess.
Oh, unopened.
I-
Well,
it's
Open
open.
Empire.
Rewrap.
It's
Oh, okay.
open.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
The plastic is still on it. That's what's that?
What's that? Dark
Oh,
crystal.
okay, sweet.
I don't even know what
I
that
haven't
is.
seen it.
Hold on.
It's an old cartoon that had a bunch of sorcery and silly shit.
Nosferatu. Haig,
Damn.
I always knew you had good taste.
All
Oh,
over
I
that.
just watched that
Wow.
movie the other day, like less than a week.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Hold on.
How big is this table?
You
You just
get the
pulled out
Mary-
6
Mary
VHSs.
Poppins
For you.
tables. All right, what do we get? Oh, Goodwill
Ooh,
Hunting.
Academy Award
That's
winner.
what's up. If I had a VHS player, I'd love
He
it.
knows it's a multi-pass.
He knows it's a multi-pass. Also,
Anyway,
also a VHS
There's like
of
10
the Fifth
more, but
Element.
I'm not going to bring them all out, but
Nice.
that's pretty dope.
How big is
That's
this
a-
end
that's-
table?
Good
Put your
collection.
headphones back on.
I don't know, but this, have you ever
How
seen
can you
this?
hear
Like,
us?
when's the last time you saw this in a fucking VHS? Come on.
At my house in California when I was clearing out
That's
my
nice.
shit.
That's nice. That's nice.
Actually, I think I might have brought it home.
I remember I was working at a house. I think I sent you guys a picture that they had just this stack of amazing VHSs, like just
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
sorts
you-
of like
you sent
80s
us
and
that, I
90s
remember.
movies. I was like, I just want to fill my backpack right now.
Honorable mentions, the Gremlins movies are in there too.
I had a feeling they were. You didn't even have to show
But
us.
dude,
I already knew that.
VHS of the best Star Wars movie ever
Yeah,
made.
that's
like,
pretty cool.
someone probably would pay me money for this. Like, I got to see how much money this might be worth.
I'm guessing, and let's all take guesses. I'm guessing no more
10
than
bucks? 10
yeah.
bucks?
I was gonna say no more than
$4.
20.
$4.
I bet you could get but
I
why would
think
you
it's
sell
more
it
than
for 10
4.
bucks?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
I would say
It's pretty awesome.
10's probably maybe
I mean,
12.
it's
$12.50 plus
up.
shipping.
It's all fucked up. You know, it's like there's.
I have the
scratches,
re-release
holes.
on VHS when they re-released it.
This one's the hi-fi stereo version.
Sick. I remember
That's
I had
like a
that.
motel still saying that it's got color TV.
I had that box set of like the original trilogy that was like Darth Vader's like face. Did you
I had
guys
those
see that one?
DVDs.
Yep.
I had those DVDs. Yeah.
I wonder if they're still at my
But
parents' house.
the
They very well
DVDs
could be.
wasn't the DVDs the George Lucas cut or did you
At a
have the
certain
original
at a
one?
certain point there was. I don't think I had the
Okay.
cut, but like I think in like 2003, like after like Phantom Menace came out, a couple years after, and in Clone Wars, he was like, "I'm gonna fucking re-release the originals with all the cool shit I couldn't put in them," and everyone was like, "All right."
Yeah, they re-released theatrically the original 3 like a couple years before Phantom Menace, I think. I remember them doing that once they like
It was like the
re-upped
gold edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, and I think that's the box that I had. It was like the new footage, you know, of like the Credo firing first, and then there was like this weird scene with like Jabba the Hutt in the first movie.
Yeah.
And things
He's like
that,
jumping
so-
over Jabba's tail.
Yeah, then it's
So dumb.
Yes, that was
So
weird. And then- but that was
unnecessary.
my first introduction to Star Wars.
Really?
So to me, those were all the originals. I think.
What?
At least I mean, I was still pretty
So
young, but
I
and then
had the VHS
my parents presented.
collection of the re-release of the originals. I think probably in anticipation. This was in the 90s though, for sure. Probably in anticipation of the new ones coming out.
Yeah, I think that was announced like they re-released them all or something.
But this was like there was a big re-release I remember because my dad worked at Pizza Hut at the time, so I was getting, and they had like OG Star Wars posters there. But obviously it's not 77. So, but I remember it being, it's maybe like a 10-year re-release. Maybe it was like right when I was born, or like a 20-year even when I was
It could be
10.
in
That makes sense.
97. That sounds
2025.
That sounds about right.
But I have all these dope posters, Jedi, Empire, the original, and they're like they're really, and then on the back they're not any ones you've really seen before. It's like just a poster of Yoda for Jedi, and like a poster of it, and on the back there's like script, like a select script from the movie.
Dope.
Kinda cool.
Where are they? Why don't you put them in your house? No.
I just got them from. I thought I lost them for the longest time, but when I was back in California, I was going through all this shit where I found all the VHSs,
Nice.
and I
Nice.
have a poster. I think it's my Pulp Fiction poster, just your standard, Uma Thurman, and I took the back off of it, and there was all the posters in there. There was like 6 set. Yeah, that one, of course, that one. I took the back off the poster. There was like 10 posters in the back there. I have like I have a triptych of the new ones of the original, the 1, 2, and 3. I have a triptych poster of those 3 posters that go together. Pretty cool. I have a 20-foot banner of Yoda.
So these are all Pizza Hut things that you have.
Yeah. They're like all like once they,
You have a
pulled them off the
20-foot banner of Yoda.
Yeah. It says win free prizes. Got a picture of Yoda on it.
20 feet?
20, it's at least 20 foot wide.
Is
Yeah.
this like at
You
your
gotta
parents'
put
house?
that
though?
somewhere. You gotta put that somewhere. Like I don't know where, but
I
somewhere.
don't know where I put it.
You have the most
Yeah.
Star Wars things of anyone I know. Clearly,
I have a lot
off
of
what
Star
you
Wars
just said,
things.
and you
The
didn't
banner
even list
is
most of it, probably.
the banner is at my parents' house still. I did not bring that to Tejas, but I do
That's
have all
pretty
those
wild.
posters. And
You know what I
used-
remember most about Star Wars, about just as a kid, is when the Phantom Menace came out. I got all the new toys of it, all the new action figures, and I remember the weird thing being like, didn't know who Jar Jar was, didn't know who like Queen Amidala was, didn't know who a couple of these characters, didn't know who Qui-Gon was, didn't know Darth Maul. So I remember when I got them, I was like, man, I don't know. And then I saw the movie and I was like, all right, cool. It's just interesting how like when you see the movie, then you're like, all right, these guys are these guys. You know what I mean? I got them first though for some reason. I don't remember why.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's like hearing the music from a musical before you watch the musical.
yeah. Anyway, what are we watching today?
Yeah. you
Today,
did the
we're
introduction. Yeah.
talking about Notorious, Alfred Hitchcock's 1946. Would you call it noir?
It has noir vibes to it. It's got a lot of vibes to it. It's
Mystery?
got a lot of It has the mystery. It has the romance. It has the
big on the romance.
Yeah, I think
It's a romance movie.
It's like a spy movie, so that has noir qualities because
Yeah.
it's sort of detective adjacent, if you will. So yeah,
Spy
we could
movie.
call it. I think you could call it noir.
It's a lot of things. It's a multifaceted film
It's a good story.
early in Hitchcock's career, right? Is this which one is this?
This was an early Hitchcock. This was 46.
Well,
so,
he made this is 1941. It says, isn't it 41?
No,
Nah,
46, I believe.
Oh, okay. So no, he made over 20 movies before this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any good ones?
He made a lot of fucking movies.
Shadow of a Doubt, Rebecca, Suspicion, The Lady Vanishes, The 39 Steps, The Man Who Knew Too Much. I'm just naming the ones that I've heard of. The other ones that I'm looking at right now, I haven't heard of them, but there's a lot of them.
Plus 10 more.
Yeah, he has
more
69
than 10,
director
unless,
credits.
like-
Did you guys notice that? That's cool.
Well, he has 52 films. He directed 52 movies.
Well, 69 director credits, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. He's got a bunch of short films too. A bunch of
Thank you.
Actually, it's between silent films and sound films. He started making movies in the silent era. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Long.
7, 8, 9. He's got 10 silent films.
Silent
He made.
movies.
Yeah.
Yes, he started making his first film was a short film called Always Tell Your Wife in 1923.
Jesus.
Word.
Was that like the second movie ever made behind Citizen Kane?
I guess so.
Citizen Kane was 41, so 1923.
Let me ask you this. Did you guys see the Hitchcock movie that came out like 10 years ago with Anthony Hopkins playing Hitchcock?
Negative.
No, I just saw the one where Will Smith was playing Hitchcock.
What?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good one. He had superpowers in that
He had
one. I remember.
superpowers. He wasn't making movies for some
Are you
reason.
guys
but he,
fucking with me right now?
Well,
Oh,
he was a character.
sorry.
Not that Hitchcock.
That
Can you
went over
imagine
my
if they
head.
announced that Will Smith was going to play Alfred Hitchcock in a movie in whiteface? That'd be awesome.
Do you know in whiteface? Do you know that one of the earliest memories of Hitchcock in my brain is Will Smith actually mimicking Alfred Hitchcock in
From
Fresh
what?
Prince of Bel-Air?
Really? What did he do?
He blows up his face and then he goes like what does Hitchcock say? Alfred Hitchcock presents or whatever. And he like blows up his face and does an impression of him, and I thought it was the funniest thing. And my mom was a fan of Hitchcock at the time, so it was like, oh, funny, we laughed. The fact that you brought up that Will Smith, he should play Hitchcock. You all right, Schwartz?
Oh,
Hitchcock was a good movie.
Hitch, you mean the one that Will Smith?
oh
Actually, no.
Hitchcock.
Hitch
No,
is the one with
Hitchcock.
Will Smith and the dude from King of Queens, where it's a love story movie. That's
Yes.
Hitch.
I didn't
And then
realize he played a
Hitchcock
movie that
was the
Hitch and
Peter
Hitchcock.
Berg film that we're
Yes.
speaking of.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
with Uma Thurman,
no, Charlize
No.
Theron,
Charlize Theron,
and Jason Bateman.
Yes.
great movie.
Anyway, the Hitchcock movie that was made about Alfred Hitchcock, played by Anthony Hopkins, was pretty interesting. Like seeing Anthony Hopkins walking around in a fat suit was pretty funny.
He's already not like he's not skinny, is he? Couldn't he just put on the weight?
Anthony Hopkins is much skinnier than Alfred
Might not be
Hitchcock was.
healthy
Alfred
for
Hitchcock
someone that
was
age.
like Alfred Hitchcock was probably like really big, like box big.
Box
Biggest
big,
box.
like moving box.
Box big. No, like Kevin, our friend Box.
Oh, shout out to
big guy.
Box.
Shout out to Box.
Box ain't too big. Hell of a golfer.
Oh,
Great golfer.
crushes the ball.
Happy
Great
Gilmore-esque.
golf. Crushes it.
Dude's got a golf simulator in his fucking apartment. It's pretty
Starring Ingrid Bergman,
Yeah.
sick. Bergman.
Bergman,
Ingrid
Yes.
Bergman.
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 My autocorrect will put ingredient Bergman, and Cary Grant and Claude Rains.
You know what I realized by watching this movie? I don't really know other Cary Grant movies at all.
I mean,
do you?
he's in a
You
bunch
guys?
of Hitchcock movies. He's in other than the
Yeah,
Hitchcock movies.
Vertigo.
Yeah.
I guess.
Vertigo's
yeah, but
James
he's much.
Stewart.
Then I have no
He's,
idea.
He's in
Yeah,
North by
like, I can't-
Northwest. It's probably
the
the
problem
one.
is
Those
with
are
these
easy.
movies
Those are
is
easy to mix up.
The problem is with these Hitchcock movies and most movies that were made probably in the 30s, 40s, and probably even the 50s is they all kind of look the same. The cinematography is never different. The camera moves are kind of all the same. The way that they reveal things, the transitions, they're all the same. And that's why
Hitchcock
this movie was
specifically?
boring as fuck. No,
Well,
no, no. I'm
he had
talking
some
about
cool
just movies
camera
in
things
general.
in
I
this.
think
I mean, he
think
had some
I
great
would
zooms.
agree with
Some
Hit.
great zooms, some great moves.
I
Like,
agree.
don't get me wrong, he's Hitchcock. He's one of the best filmmakers in the history of fucking film.
Yeah.
But I mean, they
I
kind of all
agree
just
with
look
two sides of that in that yes, like all the movies kind of look the same at the time, but I don't think Hitchcock movies look the same. I feel like Hitchcock, maybe all of his movies kind of felt the same, but they were always a little more
See,
stylized.
he definitely has more stylized moves in his movies. He definitely has interesting scripts because they're always to do with murder or mystery or something of trying intriguing you, which is probably different from a lot of movies back in the day. But I think if you showed someone who's never seen a Hitchcock movie, another movie from the same year that the Hitchcock movie you're showing them was made, there's only going to be a few subtle differences in camera work and shit like that. I just don't.
It's a Wonderful Life was
Don't
the
see it.
same year.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, it's the same. If you look at that movie, it could look you could splice that movie into this movie.
Mm,
Yeah, those are two pretty. Those
I
are
mean, they're
two
very
directors
different
that
settings.
were known for being outside the backs.
Yeah.
Who directed that movie again?
Capra.
Mr.
Frank Capra. Yeah,
Frank Capra. Yeah.
I've never seen any other movie he's made besides for that movie. So, and he's a legend too. I get it, but
Wait, what
these
movie were we
movies,
talking
like,
about?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah. For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought we were talking about.
All right. So anyway,
Orson Welles.
that's all I wanted to say about that. Keep
I
going,
don't know.
Anthony.
Fuck, it's a Wonderful Life.
No, Notorious, 1946. Alfred
1946. What'd
Yeah,
you
I
guys
mean-
think? You guys got a word for it? You guys got a phrase? Did you guys think much of it?
Ah, fuck,
I
I
didn't
forgot
think of
what
a
You
word.
thought it was a little
I didn't know
boring?
I think
I thought it was kind of boring.
it was slow, but I did like the story. It was an interesting story. There was like I liked the somewhat different genres to it. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I think it's another one of those movies that we're just gonna say for the year it came out and for the time, it was a good movie. It was
I wrote down
liked-
that a lot.
yeah. For when it came out, the cinematography was good. For when it came out, the
I
story
think the
was interesting.
cinematography still stands. I think it's
mean-
cool.
I mean, there's shots that are
there's-
great. It's
yeah.
very
Shots,
De Palma, which
the-
I see De Palma just steal straight shots every time I watch a Hitchcock movie. It's
the
awesome.
lighting of these later black and white movies are just great.
See, that's another thing. Like they're great because they look beautiful, but there's nothing realistic about it. It just looks like a fucking staged play.
Well, it definitely looks like it's all on a stage, but classically done. And I
Sure,
guess
classic, yeah.
like to Jake's point for the time. That's why I was I don't know if you saw, let me see, this guy was talking about the use of rear projection and plates.
Mm. The rear view mirror shot was dope. The cop or whatever following them. That was
Yeah.
a cool shot.
He was saying basically that he thinks that Hitchcock either A, didn't care about how realistic his back plates looked, or B, like did it on purpose, like made him look unrealistic on purpose, i.e. out of focus, and or mostly just like that's not the focus that should be here from here to there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Your eye sees it. He either did it on purpose or because he doesn't care, or he did it on purpose because he thinks he doesn't want you to care about anything else but the characters.
Well, I
you know,
also
other
think in a
purpose behind it.
Hitchcock movie, you're to your point exactly. I think in a Hitchcock
John
movie, like
Bailey
you're
suggested
just
that.
like in a De Palma movie, or just like in a Spielberg movie, everything's slightly heightened. Like they're telling grounded stories that have a lot of ungrounded things in them. So when things happen that aren't grounded, it's not supposed to matter. Like maybe it's real, maybe it's not, maybe this is a real life, maybe it's not. They're just telling you they think in ways of everything is grandiose, everything is elevated higher than real life is. So it does that. So to the guy's point, yeah, he doesn't care that it doesn't look real. It's like Tarantino using rear projection in Pulp Fiction, like in the Bruce Willis car scene, when you obviously know it's fucking rear projection. He did that because it's a aesthetic, because he thinks it's cool, because it's a tribute to things like this movie and old movies that you can 100% tell it wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? So 100%, I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah, I've seen and read that sometimes Hitchcock purposely would disorient the audience just to get them more into that mindset of like the characters, because usually the characters in his films don't always know what's going on, so it helps get in their mindset a little bit to throw you off.
That's the Hitchcock way, right? The audience knows more than the characters.
Yeah, and I think also, from my understanding, this is probably the earliest Hitchcock movie I've seen, as far as I know, because I kind of more got into him in like the later 50s, 60s era.
I feel like I've seen 39 Steps. You said that was before this.
Yeah. So from what I've read, this was kind of his earlier attempts into the shift into the suspense drama. So I think this is somewhat of like a jumping off point. And I know, as the title almost gives it the credit, it's like kind of notorious for when it hit in his career, from what I've read.
Oh.
Well, this is the
a
thing,
little
though.
double
Like, I'm looking at these other movies that were made in the 30s, like Rich and Strange, Number 17, Waltzes from Vienna, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and they're all listed as a 1934 British thriller directed by Alfred Hitchcock. So he was always making thrillers, and he was always making things that were like interesting more than regular life. Like, he's not making fucking rom-coms, he's not making like history movies, he's making thrillers. Like, movies are supposed to intrigue you and get you thinking. But I think that this movie, because I read the same thing you did too, in a way, I think this was like heavy subject matter that had to do with more than just like, it's not just fantastical, it's not just, hey, look at this, he's trying to interest you. This is like heavy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was a war criminal's daughter. They were talking about Nazis. Like, this was something that jumped him off into something where people like respect him a little bit more. You know what I mean? Right. For making like that, something like that. Kind of like when Spielberg made Color Purple or fucking something like that. Where, like, he had made Indiana Jones movies, Jaws, Close Encounters, like movies that are super like not like that.
Yeah,
you know?
more depth to his.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what it was. Because this was his first post World War II movie as well.
It was
so for the time is pretty.
That's something I thought too. Like, this was timely as fuck. They were like, they made this movie like a year after the war ended, so they had to have filmed it in 1945. Because
it doesn't start with like this is 1946.
Yeah,
it starts with the date 1946. When that came up, I was like, oh shit, when was this made? I was thinking maybe like the 1950 or something.
And that was like when Nazis were fleeing to Brazil. Like, that was in real time. This wasn't a period piece.
They never say Nazis
happening.
They never. I don't think they ever say Nazis.
I thought they did early on.
Did they?
Yeah, they said something about Germans and stuff, like
Germans. Yeah, they say. I don't think they ever. I don't think they ever explicitly say Nazis, but they do. It's obvious.
Yeah, and as I was telling Jake before before we started recording, is I think that's one of the reasons why I was bored with this movie, is that like there was never any threat of these so-called Nazis doing anything to them. Like, this dude kind of just watched them from a distance, knowing that they knew each other. But I never felt that, like, there was never showing bad guy things. It was just all talking about it. Like, you never got showed anything. So I think that's what took me out of it.
The the climax of the movie was them getting the key and going into the cellar. It wasn't like there was no I mean, it's not an action movie.
No.
Well, no, sure, but you can make, like, neither is Apt Pupil, but it's got a lot of crazy Nazi shit in it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it was a choice to not be so explicit with being.
I think because it was
Nazis.
made in the time it was made, it was probably the reason for that too. You know what I mean? They were probably like, I don't know if it was Hitchcock or the studio or what, but the time it was
maybe
let's not say Nazi.
Yeah, they're like, come on, hey, it's 60-40. It goes the other way, so let's be nice about this. Let's be diplomatic. We might have to dub this in German. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it starts with a Nazi trial. Essentially, some guy named Huberman, guilty of treason. He was like a German American that did some fucked up shit, right?
Did business with the Germans. That's when I thought they said Nazis for some reason, but I don't. You're right. Now I'm questioning whether or not they specifically said the word, but let's go with no. And yeah, it was the German
also-
trial, and he did business with these German guys. AKA.
I guess like
They were definitely Nazis.
at the time, yeah.
Yes.
But I
Let's make that clear.
Oh,
They were
okay.
killing people in Germany.
At the time, like being German was just synonymous with being a Nazi, I guess.
100%.
Especially
100%.
that was it.
100%.
So yeah, Ingrid Bergman's character, she's his son, right? Her son.
No,
Yeah.
she's the daughter.
She's
Her
the
daughter
of
guy
the,
on
I'm saying.
trial.
yeah.
Berg
Father was on trial for
Huberman.
treason.
She's
Huberman.
Alicia Huberman.
Yep.
So that's how it starts. Didn't really grip me right off the get go.
Not right away.
But the party scene was kind of interesting.
So,
I like
sorry,
how
I'm gonna
it-
skip.
God,
I liked
wait,
how
no.
it was shot, how the party scene
Yeah.
was shot. It made it mysterious right off the bat.
Mysterious, super long, one shot right off the bat.
Mhm.
So keep going with
this
the plot.
this
though.
dude
What
was
party is this?
the very big what
What party is this?
The very
what
first
was the
one.
party?
where she
Which
gets
is what-
hammered.
like I'm saying,
Alicia's at a party.
okay. So this party wasn't for her though, right? It's party just she's one she was at.
I think she was
This
just at
is
a party.
The very
Okay.
beginning, she's hosting a party for
Okay.
friends, and this is where we meet what's his name's character, Cary Grant.
Okay, Grant.
He's all Marcellus Wallace
Devlin.
out. We can't see him. We just see the back of his head. She's pouring drinks. She's flirting with him. She likes him. She gets fucked up, and then they leave. And she's driving. Starts out with a good
Yeah.
drunk driving scene.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I remember
women
that.
driving.
Did you have something to say about the
Psych-
party?
psycho,
Schwartz?
psycho vibes.
I have something to say about a party later on in the movie, so I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till we get to that point.
Yeah, hold your horses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 parties in this movie.
There are.
It's a big party movie.
There are. There's a lot of
Nice.
parties.
Real fun movie.
I think rich fucking white people just like to celebrate shit for no reason, you know? So
Well,
they just
yeah,
throw
well,
parties.
they're Nazis, so they're like, you know.
Wait, I don't
we
think they're
lo-
Nazis yet. We haven't gotten to the Nazis yet.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
not yet, not yet.
wait, so everybody at that party was a Nazi? That's what you're saying?
No, not
In
yet.
the very first party, no. Those are just
These
her
were just
friends.
her friends.
The party I'm
She
talking about, though.
Was the daughter of a Nazi.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all we
yes.
know.
Or someone
Duh.
Nazi
That's not my
doing
name.
doing business with Nazis.
She gets hammered. She gets in a car. She drives. I don't recommend this. She's swerving all around. Cool rear view mirror shot of the cop that Schwartz was talking about. I don't really remember that, to be honest.
I mean,
Uh,
today in today's standards, it'd be just a shot. Back then, it was probably like, okay, cool.
Oh, how'd you
the
shoot into a
44th
mirror?
movie ever made. It's an impressive shot. There's hundreds of shots. They weren't
Anthony,
even
you
invented
need to
yet.
find out when the first movie was made so that you can.
It
say
doesn't
that.
really matter. Talking movie is this
44th,
is this
45th,
the
whatever.
guy that shoots the gun at the script? Is that a movie? Who's to say what a movie really is?
The first movie ever made with like a script wasn't it Great Train
Battleship
Robbery?
Potemkin.
Well,
Yeah.
that was like Russian satire. Russian
What about the movie that Meyer, the French guy?
The
Méliès?
the moon movie.
Méliès. Yeah, the moon
Man,
movie.
Man
Is
on
that
the
the
Moon or
first one?
whatever? That might be the first one.
that might be. It's either that or
That's the
I
best
think
first one.
the Great Train Robbery.
Okay,
is,
yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
is the
That's
first
right.
like.
By the
real-
way, to our audience out
Good
there
one.
and YouTube, because I don't know if YouTube have seen it either, you guys should check out Martin Scorsese's movie Hugo, which is basically about that French guy. It's so
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
good.
It was
so
cool.
fucking good.
I could rewatch that. I only saw it one time.
wasn't
So
there
good.
2 Méliès or Lumiere?
One of those dudes is played.
One
by
of them was
Banks Kingsley.
brothers.
One of the dudes that was played by Banks Kingsley in Hugo. It was awesome.
Wow, cool.
Cool.
Anyway, keep going.
Actually, I fucking love Ben Kingsley, so I'll watch anything.
Back to
you
our
should watch Hugo.
the other 47th movie ever.
Robert Richardson won his third Oscar for that movie.
She gets out of control in the car, freaks out. Oh, they get pulled over. This is when we realize that he's like a G-man of some sort. He's a
He's
part
an
of
American. He's kind of like
American
Benicio del Toro
intelligence.
is in Sicario type of guy. Just back then, type of guy.
yeah. He's like
Not as murdery.
CIA, I think.
Well,
He's- he-
we don't
this
know
was-
that. We
True,
don't know
true,
that.
true, true.
We don't know that.
think he
We just know
government
he's
Government,
murders
government
people?
officiant.
I think that dude's killed people.
Probably.
How many people?
don't
Do you
know,
think
it's
Cary
between
Grant
seven-
has murdered people, or
seven
do
and-
you think?
I think Cary Grant's character in this movie has killed between 7 and
That's
11 people.
That's more of an interesting conversation of
Hmm.
if Cary Grant himself has killed people.
Maybe.
I mean, it's old Hollywood. You
Hollywood
probably
was
got away with
wild.
a lot more
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, back then you can kill people and get away with it probably very easily. There was no phones. There was no social media. There was no fucking paparazzi coming around. Like, there were
You
just
had
people
money.
helping you kill people.
You just have money. You dispose of
You
it.
tell me Stanley Kubrick never killed anybody? Come on.
Anyway, back
So
to
they
the
get
woman
pulled over
driving
by the
poorly.
cop. He hands over some kind of document that proves that he's some kind of American intelligence, pre CIA situation. CIA was invented the very next year.
Interesting.
He then slaps the shit out of her and knocks her out.
I don't remember that. does
You
it?
don't remember that?
That's fucked up.
She freaking out because he's a cop. Yeah, you're following me. You just want to get something on me. You're a bad guy. You're a G-man. I don't want to know you. He like tries to calm her down. She's trying to drive away. He backhands her, knocks her out. That's when and in the next scene, she wakes up, drinks some kind of fucking concoction. She's just drinking shit. She doesn't know where she is, who this guy is, or what's in the cup. She just
Dude,
wakes
back
up.
then people didn't worry about that. The world was a simpler place.
I mean, she was poisoned later on, so
Her dad's a war criminal. Simpler place.
simpler place, simpler times.
Yeah.
That was
Anyway.
that was I think one of the cooler shots when she was waking up. And I guess again at the time, although I think if I saw that kind of shot today, I'd be
Another
like, "Ooh, that's
disorienting
fun."
shot. Yeah.
Describe the shot because I do not remember.
She's upside down on the bed. The camera's upside down as he's walking in, kind of sideways actually, and then it goes
like it's
ups-
going towards her on the bed.
yeah,
He's coming at her.
like she's laying
Somewhat
down.
silhouetted.
Imagine she's laying down. Camera's laying down on the bed. That's what
Okay.
she sees. And then
POV.
Oh, it's a POV.
POV from
Yeah.
her looking at the doorway.
Uh,
Cary Grant walks in. He's somewhat silhouetted. As he walks toward her, the camera starts to tilt. He kind of ends up being like upside down, and then it cuts back to her.
and she's
upside
upright.
down and then all the way sideways to the other side, and then
Yeah,
it cuts
yeah.
back to her. She's
All right,
like all-
that's cool.
There's- and
That's
then-
cool.
There's another
What?
one of those later
where
when she gets drugged later. And then there's when I don't want to move ahead too far, but she gets drugged toward the end, and then there's the silhouette shot
Proceed with
of the people. And
story.
it's out of focus. Proceed with the story.
Proceed with the story.
where are we? Let's see.
She wakes up from the
she
hangover.
wakes
Wakes
up,
up
yeah.
from the hangover.
He tells her who she is, tells her who he is, kind of explains that he needs her help in a certain situation in where is it? Rio de Janeiro?
Rio, yeah, in Brazil,
In
Yo.
Brazil. Jake knows about Brazil.
a little bit.
She just agrees, I guess. What happened? She's just like, yeah, I'm in.
Well,
Like, I
pretty
hated
much.
you
She
before,
kinda-
but
She
now
doesn't
I'm in.
want. She doesn't want to, and then he's like, "Well, you're a patriot." And she's like, "No, I'm not." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to tape you saying you are." And then she's like,
Oh,
"God
yeah.
damn it, you got
Yeah.
me."
But
He
that was
comes in,
stupid.
He plays the tape. He plays the tape.
Because the tape, like, that wasn't even blackmail. It was just like, but listen to what you said on the tape. Like,
Yes, but
that's-
back then,
This is
dude,
how you really
back
feel.
then, she's a fucking daughter of a war criminal. All you gotta do is be like, "Hey, she looked at me weird," and boom, she's dead or on trial.
but the only like,
It was some core.
all I'm saying is that the evidence that he had against her was what was he couldn't play that to people that was saying like, oh well, here this proves that she's a war criminal, and because that it's exactly the opposite. I don't know. It was just a funny thing to have like against her to make his point.
It didn't seem like it was even against her. It was just almost like, yeah, you are a patriot because that's the whole reason why.
Exactly.
Whatever. Yeah.
And she's a patriot
Did
for
you-
Germany.
No,
No,
for America.
For America.
Oh, okay.
For non-Germans.
Goddamn America.
Non-Nazis. She agrees. She goes to Rio.
Yeah.
I had something else to say. I forgot.
Fun fact: they fall in love. It's real original.
Yeah, they start
Oh,
falling
yeah.
in love with each other. They start
That's-
digging on each other.
That's one thing I don't
Complicating
really
the
have in my
matter.
notes, but is 100% like 90%
Big
of the
ol'
storyline.
plot point, yeah.
That's the movie.
They do fall. They start falling in love, obviously.
They're in Rio. They're young, dumb, and full of cum.
Ooh. And they're two
Cary
beautiful
Grant.
people.
It's Cary
Yeah.
Grant and
Two
Ingrid
two
Bergman.
beautiful people. It's just
Yeah.
nice to watch
I
them.
mean, she's a little,
together.
she's all right.
fucking
Cary Grant,
gorgeous. Are you
Cary
kidding
Grant's
me?
Cary Grant's hotter than her, if we're honest.
What are you talking about? You're saying if they were both in a room
All
and you had the
time-
choice,
I'd probably sleep with the lady.
No,
you're
that's not
going
what
to
I'm
Cary
saying.
Grant. I mean,
I'm
Schwartz
gonna-
is going
I'm
to Cary
I'm gonna go
Grant.
for the girl.
Okay,
I'm going for Ingrid Bergman.
I'm going for Bergman if we're talking about who I'm gonna bang. But if we're talking about in like looking at them and being like, okay, there's Cary Grant and a bunch of these other hot dudes, and then there's Ingrid Bergman and a bunch of hot chicks, he's gonna stand out way more than she is. He's hotter than she is.
So he's like a 10 for you, and she's like a 7. Is that what you're
What?
saying?
I guess sure.
Like is Cary Grant your
Ingrid
perfect match?
Bergman
Let's just
is
get that out
a
of the way.
fucking dime piece.
She's hot as fuck, but she's
In the
a little more
beginning,
generic.
in the little
She's more
crop
generic
top,
than- she's
little
more-
crop
she's more
top with
generic
the
than Cary
fucking.
Grant.
He put the handkerchief around her.
Dude, she's
Here,
hot as fuck.
This'll keep you warm.
I'm not
That's
saying she's
funny.
not hot. I'm
When
just
she
saying
walked
in
out of the
scheme
door,
things-
I was like, God damn, dude. No wonder
the
people
scheme of
like
things-
this lady.
Cary Grant's just he's like a Brad Pitt kind of guy.
He's like a 1940s Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
NFBP. So they
He's
go to
good.
Rio. Neither of them really know what's going on. Have you been to Rio?
I have.
No.
Me too. I've been there. It's great.
I think I was there with you, wasn't I?
No, for Hitler. Ooh, which is kind of on subject. We looked for Nazis.
We did. We
In
actually
Rio, you guys relate to this character more than you even know.
listen. So the
I didn't even
coolest
think
thing
about
that
that.
happened to us on that show wasn't in Rio. It was in Uruguay or Paraguay. But we supposedly talked to a guy. We did talk to a guy, but he supposedly had a Nazi living in his house when he was a very small child who used to live in the house in his backyard, and he would come in for breakfast every day. And this guy was probably like 80 years old, but he said that he was like 4 or 5, and he would call him Uncle something. Uncle, I think the guy we were looking for at this time
Uncle
on the show was
Eichmann?
Eichmann. So I don't know if the guy was this guy, but we said it was this guy. But anyway, I thought that was kind of crazy that we actually met a dude who knew a Nazi. That was wild.
We met a lot of dudes who knew Nazis.
Yeah,
Was this the 100-year-old guy? Or no, you never met the 100-year-old guy.
I didn't do that one. No, this was in Uruguay or Paraguay. It's the day that we went to that little house and we had like the meat sandwiches, the mystery meat sandwiches and shit.
Oh yeah, delish. We met a
Probably
guy
horse.
that was
Probably horse, let's be
was
honest.
99 years old, and he's most certainly dead now. He was dying, just 99-year-old dying Nazi dude, and he told us some crazy shit, and it never aired.
Well, name
talk
one
like this.
crazy thing. he said.
Oh, let me tell you.
Okay, what
'Cause
is
he
one
was like
crazy thing?
in
he said?
pain the whole time. 100-year-old dying man, insides are rotting.
I know, but wait a second. What is one interesting thing he said? I'm very curious.
Name a thing.
Name something. I just want to know. Like, what is something crazy? Do you remember? Just go on, tell me something.
Tell me something.
You got to watch season 2 of Hunting Hitler.
You just said to make air.
I wish you just tell me one.
Make up
Uh,
one.
Or
Yeah, what is?
was
say
he
something.
related to this movie at all? Was he in maybe like there was a woman who took advantage of him and tried to like learn more and then stole his
No, the
magnesium?
craziest stories from that season were in Chile in the like modern day camps, like the camps they did in the 70s for the rebellion.
Oh, the town, right? What was that town called?
Yeah, Pisagua.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about that.
But we also went to Colonia Dignidad, where they made a movie.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about. Colonia
They made a
Dignidad,
movie called Colonia with Hermione
which we
Granger.
watched. Remember? We watched it, didn't we? And we like turned it off. It was like
good?
boring.
Yeah, I don't think it was good.
That was like boring as fuck.
So
Anyway, back to this movie.
her mission, should you choose to accept it, just like us, she needed to infiltrate the Nazi lords named Sebastian, who was an old friend of her father, who had a little crush on her back in the day. So it was going to be easy for her to slip into his DMs.
This guy's played by the actor Claude Rains, who is supposedly another very famous actor back in the day. Also,
Never heard of him.
me neither.
Is he a Nazi? We don't know.
He's got a funny face, and I think he's a Nazi.
He's a Nazi.
Was he German in the 40s?
Let's just say he went real method for this one.
Whoa.
Shit.
Oh shit. So her plan is to hook up with this dude, get the intel. What intel? We don't really know.
Hold on though.
Go ahead,
At
go
this
ahead.
point, these two characters, Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant, are really deep in love. So this whole thing of her trying to infiltrate this dude is definitely putting some rifts between them.
So
and
yeah,
honestly,
that's right.
That is what this movie is about. Is that right there? That's what this
That
movie
is what.
about.
So he goes out to
love
get more
triangle.
champagne because she wants him to stay over. He gets a bottle of champagne, goes to the. I thought this was going to be more of a thing with the champagne because they kind of made a thing out of it, but it was never a thing. He gets his bottle of champagne, goes over to the intel house, talks to them. They're like, "All right, here's the mission," and he didn't know what the situation was until that point. Also, here's the mission. She's got to fucking basically hook up with this dude and get all the intel we need. And at first, to them, he was like, "Nah, she can't do this. This is not the kind of lady she is." And everyone's like, "Ah, she's a total slut. It's gonna be perfect." And
They say they basically do say that the guy goes, I know her. She's great with getting men to do things she wants. He legit says that. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
yeah, didn't that part didn't age well. He although he ain't wrong, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
I'll do whatever she wants me to do. You want me to be a Nazi? I'll be a Nazi. Ingrid Bergman, what you gonna do?
Well, let's be honest. You do things every day because your girlfriend tells you have to. So it's all good. Your wife says, Anthony, you got to do this, and you do it.
Like
because
what? Name one thing.
Vagina. Oh God, I don't know. I'll text her. I'll text her right now and ask her what she says, and she'll probably tell me some things. Anyway, that's the point of it is that women just tell us what to do.
They win.
Jake, what has your girlfriend told you to do in the last 48 hours?
Wins.
There's got to be at least one thing.
Feed the cat.
Feed the cat. Is this cat at your house or just cat at her house?
No, I have a cat now.
Where's the cat, dude?
You have a cat at your house?
Where's the cat
now? Cat's
Oh God, I gotta come. I'm gonna come hang out. I'm gonna come to your house more often now that cat's there. Now I'm gonna come hang out with what's his name again?
Churro.
Mr. Miyagi.
Great name. Great name for a cat.
Churro.
Churro. Yeah.
You know, it was a great name for a cat. Martin Scorsese.
It was, and it was a female cat. That's the best part. And know what the best part? Actually, the best part of it is we named her Marty. Her name was Marty. That was the best.
Good. Why was that the best part?
Because it worked. Because when I introduced the cat, I was like, "It's my cat, Martin Scorsese." And then people were like, "You call your cat Martin Scorsese?" I'm like, no, they call her Marty. So they're like, all right, cool.
No, idiot.
Yeah, that was an awesome cat, and that cat was trained to go to the bathroom in the toilet.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty rad. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I would have liked to see
that. It was pretty genius how it's done too. Like I was like, how the fuck are you going to train this cat to go bathroom in the toilet? And then what it ended up being was it's a thing that sits over the toilet, basically that you can take pieces of out and you put cat litter on it. So every day, the first day, it's just basically a litter box on the toilet, and then you take a ring out and it's one less. And then like 2 weeks later or a week later, there's nothing in the toilet anymore, and the cat just automatically goes there without being litter. It was pretty ingenious. I was like, that's super smart.
That's how we taught Jillian.
Fun fact. Oh no, message. All right, back to the movie. What are these Nazi fucks doing?
These Nazi fucks. Well, they con the Nazi fucks into the meeting. There's a little horse exchange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're on the horses. Remember? They're like, he's like, let's just trot by nicely and see if he notices you. And they do, and he don't. And then he like slaps the horse's ass. It goes crazy. Sebastian saves her, and they have a little meeting, and they go to dinner.
How old is Sebastian? He's much older than these two, right?
He's probably about 80, 90 years old.
He's at least 25 years older than both.
Yeah, he's the father's age for sure.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Father's friend.
Making sure. I'm just making sure it wasn't just me thinking that.
Yeah.
Old as fuck. I mean, his mom probably should have been dead.
she was clearly like in her 80s or 90s.
Again, psycho vibes.
Psycho vibes again, yes.
Super psycho vibes with her. Who directed Psycho?
Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
So now that they're hooking up, they're instructed to not see each other anymore. Or I think it's important, since this is the love story, that when he goes and he tells her what the mission is, he has no kind of qualms about it. When he's talking to her, when he's talking to them, he was like, I don't think she should do this. But when he gets to her, he kind of puts all those emotions aside and is like, listen, you gotta fucking just let it up. And she's like, you sure you want me to do this? And then he's like, I don't have, like, it's not up to me, it's up to you. And she's like, but do you want me to do this? And he's like, not up to me, it's up to you. So he kind of bullied her into it, essentially. And she fucking went hard. She went hard. They had dinner. She was invited. They went to dinner. Is this the one you were talking about? With all she was invited to dinner at her mom's house.
And then it's
with all the Nazi bosses.
And then that dude was there, right? Yeah. So this dinner, is it this one? It's either this one or the third one. I'm just going to talk about it now just because it's relevant now, because we know the plot is. So the scene in Inglourious Bastards when they fucking try to infiltrate the fucking movie premiere, and he goes, "Buongiorno," I feel like took from this scene a lot. Like there were a couple, like the way that the German fuck who they're trying to capture is talking to her, like guiding her around the party, is just like Christoph Waltz did it with the chick with the broken foot. Like the way that they're talking to each other. Like the Tarantino one is much more comedic and it's much more heightened, obviously. But I'm not saying this is a thing. But if you ask Quentin Tarantino about if this movie or this scene had influence on it, there might be. I mean, Quentin Tarantino has definitely seen probably every Alfred Hitchcock movie a couple times. Like,
Tarantino, you ever see Hitchcock?
That. I mean, so I would like to ask him about that. But anyway, I caught those vibes from it. I picked up those vibes.
Well, Quentin Tarantino, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on and ask you a few questions, including what's the definition of a B movie?
Not including, foremost.
That's
the reason
question.
we want you on here.
The main question.
Define it for us.
That's
whatever you say.
That needs to be a shirt. What is a B movie?
Is what goes.
Gather shirt
right.
ideas.
All right. No, the shirt, the greatest shirt all time for a podcast about movies is that movie sucks.
Yeah, let's make some shirts.
So
stupid.
And then B movie. Just to have the shirt say B movie.
She goes to this
B movie question mark.
Go on.
She goes to this Nazi party in all white fur and rented diamonds. And she meets the psycho killer psycho mother.
Yeah, the mother was interesting. She was the most Nazi in this movie.
She was Nazi AF. Although again, nobody ever says Nazi.
No, but they're fucking Nazis.
Yeah. Is this when she sees someone sees the boss? So she's sitting at the dinner table, kind of enjoying. Also, everyone kisses her hand. I mean, I don't know if this is just post-COVID or what, but good damn, everyone got COVID in that
Her
room.
father was like a big guy, you know? He was a guy.
Yeah, I know. I understand the respect thing, but I'm just seeing everyone's lips touching the exact same spot.
Dude, 2019 to this movie, no one cared about shit like
1904 or whenever this was made.
1946.
So she's sitting at the table making conversation with these Nazi bosses and the mom, and she sees one of the guys see the bottles, right? Bottles on the table, bottles on the mantelpiece.
Yep.
And he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is that?" And the other one's like, "Hey, chill the fuck out." And then that guy gets murdered.
He does. Well, you're supposed to think he does, right?
Does he not?
No, like they allude to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna drive you home. Like,
yeah,
no, you can't drive. Yeah.
And then they keep saying, "Remember what happened to that guy?"
Right.
So, I mean, pretty sure.
About that guy.
But they never show it. They never show it.
No, they don't show it.
And that's the thing about this movie is that, like,
are implied.
I think you're supposed to be like, are these people Nazis?
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing bad things?
It's even like how everyone feels about each other. You can't even directly tell. Like it seems like when it's all said and done, like they were in love, but the whole throughout you're like, are they though?
Having said that, and thinking about that, I like this movie a lot more now because maybe that's what this movie is, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I had to rewatch it to appreciate it more. I did.
You watched it twice.
I did. Yeah. I did a rewatch this morning, and I liked it
Maybe
a
I
little
should
bit
have
more.
watched it
Yeah,
again.
because the
We
first
did it
time
kinda
through,
quick. We did it kinda quick.
it
I didn't have
did
much
feel
time to watch it
slow, and
twice.
it drifted at times for me. But then like I kind of wanted to focus up a little bit more, and I
Yeah.
did, and I appreciated there's little intricacies of the story that were kind of I didn't pick up on the first way through, which was cool.
Like what?
They're just the relationship and like how they were kind of just like coy to each other that whole second time, like where at times they seemed very much in love, and then maybe in the first act shift like they seemed very
Yeah.
much in love, but like throughout like that whole back and forth with the spying and her going off to marry him, it's like
as
was
soon
he
as
just trying to like pressure her to keep going, or
from the
was he
get-go, you think
or was he
that
just kind of like
it
put off
was?
like standoffish? Like it was hard to say.
I think he was in love with her. I think he was in love with her the whole time. I think after the horse track meeting, I think that's when everything that's when he
Yeah.
was just like, well, because she was straight up, yeah, well, just to let you know, I fuck him now. So
Yeah, it was around that time where it was like they seemed very much like are they or aren't they, and like they were almost playing each other at sort of a little bit.
yeah, I still think, well, playing. You think she was playing him? How do you think she was playing him?
That I don't know.
He was playing her
Because
for sure.
yeah, like he was seemed like is he more playing her though? Because like I don't know, like what was in it for her? I never really fully understood
Love.
of like why she did this.
She was in love.
Brown chicken, brown
So,
cow.
but yeah, brown chicken, brown cow.
So what?
There's a great line in Devil's Advocate where Keanu Reeves is getting the talking to in the end, and he goes, "What about love?" And Al Pacino goes, "Overrated, genetically equivalent to eating large amounts of chocolate."
Is that true?
That's I don't know, but it's a great line. No, not genetically. What's the word he uses? Hold on, now I just sound like an idiot because there's another
Chemically?
word he uses. Chemically or something like that. Yeah, like chemically equivalent to eating large amounts of chocolate. And I was just like, that's hilarious because I've eaten large amounts of chocolate before, and I'm pretty happy when I'm doing it.
That is love for Schwartz.
Good. Anyway, love. Keep going.
Love. Yeah. Anyway, after
What's that from? Wait, Bowfinger. Alien love. Why you say alien love? Bowfinger's so.
What?
This is still going.
Oh,
All
Notorious.
right. Where were you?
Yeah, so they kind of fell out. I don't know if we were talking about were they not in love? Who was playing who? I think they fell in love immediately. I think he was always in love with her. I think after the horse track, after she had to do what she had to, after she did what she had to do, what he brought her there.
Well,
to
even
do.
even the German guy says it to her when when she's like, "Oh, I thought you were watching the horses race through your binoculars." He was like, "No, I was watching you two through my binoculars." She's like, "It would almost seem like you were in love." She's like, "No, I hate him." He was like, "It's not what it's your body language shows." So they were just hitting it off right off the bat.
But I think that was the scene where it was like they started at least wanting to not be in love with each other because she was banging, and mostly just because of that. I think she didn't. I think that was just the turn of their relationship until the very end when they like kiss again and they're like, oh god.
Yeah, it was very inner. I think they both have the inner conflicts of like doing the job or following the love.
Which is funny because she was just a person. She was just the daughter of this dude. She had no like training or anything. She wasn't an agent.
No.
And then whatever. Anyway, so she's banging him. Let's see. She marries him right off the bat.
Yeah.
He asks her to marry him. Again, she goes to a meeting with all these people now, including Cary Grant, and she's like, he wants me to marry him, and she's like, what should I do? And they're like, oh, I mean, that's great. Basically, she's wanting Cary Grant to say, don't do it. I love you. Come back, Jack. But he doesn't.
She never gets that from him.
She never gets that from him.
Because he's a man.
He leaves. She marries him. She moves in.
Jake, would you have told her you loved her and not to do it?
I don't know. I mean, it's his job. He's got to do his job, right? So,
Hey, man,
It's a
you're
back
a
and
man.
forth. It's a back
You're a
and
man,
forth.
baby.
He wants her to say, I'm not going to do it. And she wants him to say, don't do it. When neither of them do it, they are both do what they both don't want to be
yeah, they're
done.
both being prideful.
She's smooching with everybody.
She was smooching with your brother.
Little Mo with the gimpy leg.
But she's still on the job. So she's in there. She's gathering intel. She's opening every door she can. She gets the key. She's doing a lot of that. She's getting that intel.
Eller.
She can open up every door except for one. There's one door you can't open.
Yeah.
What door is it, Jake?
It's the wine cellar. Why
Oh.
doesn't her key
Her key doesn't open the wine
open
cellar.
the wine? It opens everything else.
Opens everything else. Why doesn't it
That's
open the
just-
wine cellar?
That's suspicious right there.
And if we go back, didn't she look at wine a little weird?
There was a
one time?
guy who got upset about the wine. Like, you do something about the wine.
Listen,
Is
this
there
is
something going on
like
with the wine.
this is the climax of the movie, so we got to make it interesting.
Yeah, this is entering like the third act. Essentially, I think is the wine scene
Nobody dies in this movie on
But
screen.
this time I was like,
on screen. No, a lot of standards and practices back in those days.
This
lot
is
of
a simple
S&Ps.
movie. Yeah,
Good.
wasn't this?
It's
Didn't this
good.
come out during like the what's the era of movies where you had to be nice?
Yeah, you couldn't show people fucking. Like,
Yeah.
the kisses could only last for so long, so this like even like pushed the
Yes.
limits.
There was
Fun
that
fact.
thing,
fun fact, that's
Go
what
ahead.
Damien Chazelle's new movie is about. That story right there.
which
Babylon.
is
It's about like how the bill passed when they were able to do that again, and how they were able to
Yeah.
like broaden their horizons into making like better movies, more realistic movies.
Did you guys see the new movie about Lucy and Desi, the one with Nicole Kidman? I forgot what it's
didn't.
called. Being the Ricardos.
I did
is it a
not.
movie or is
good?
it a show?
That's a movie.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. They're
They look
both really
great.
good in it.
Yeah.
I really liked that show. I kind of grew up watching that show a little bit. Not that it came out when I was young. I'd sound old there when I said that. But the fact
You're old as
that-
fuck, Jake.
yeah.
Jake's 156 years old.
Yeah,
used
I
to
watched
watch
a
I
lot of
Love
that.
Lucy.
A lot of that show. Yeah, I watched a lot of I Love Lucy. So it's kind of about that. So it's cool to see. But a part of the movie does talk about that whole thing, like how they have to sleep in separate beds on the show, how they can't like really even kiss on the show because part of it's the fact that they were interracial, but a big part of it was just the fact like you can't sleep in the same
Was
bed
Lucy
and show
black?
it. No, Ricardo. It's a
Ricky Ricardo?
Yeah, it's a
Desi
Cuban-
Arnaz.
Cuban name.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got some explaining to do.
Exactly. So there was that, and that was what's his name? The guy who played Anton Chigurh. Why am I
Del
blanking on
Toro?
his name? No. Schwartz, help me out here.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Javier Bardem. Bardem.
Oh, yeah.
Emmanuel
Bardem
Lubezki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bardem played Ricardo.
All the Mexicans.
Desi
Guillermo
Arnaz.
del Toro.
Ricky Ricardo.
Can't get into the wine cellar.
Anywho, yeah. They can't get in the wine
Something
cellar.
fishy about that wine.
And then they get in the wine cellar.
Well, then she goes back to Devlin, and it's in kind of is like, this is the deal. And also remember that weird thing about wine. Well, the only door I can't get into is the wine cellar, and he was like, "Well, that's obviously where it is." He broke the case real quick. He was like, "You got to get the key. Not only that, you got to throw a party, and then on that party, you got to invite me, and then we'll get it together." And that's when that's the party night. I feel like this is when the movie, at least if it gets the most interesting, is
Maybe
the
this
night.
is the party I was thinking about now that I think about it, where he's guiding her through the party. Is it this one? I don't know. There's a party scene where I was like, this is very Inglourious Bastardsy.
I remember
in-
watching this movie a really long time ago, and this was the only scene I could remember. I could
In
only
this-
remember the fact that there was a wine cellar scene.
In this party, she's hanging out with Cary Grant a lot, and her husband
Is
is always
watching.
like looking over.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of. Because then he like says something to her, and I was like, "This is all Christoph Waltzy."
He is kind of waltzy in this one. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
I thought that too. If they made a modern
thought
day
that too?
remake of Notorious, Christoph Waltz would play that guy.
I mean, he kind of did play that guy. Right?
But if they made a
Yeah, but we don't know what
You know what's-
Alex Sebastian did. Do you think Alex
Okay.
Sebastian was a Jew hunter?
He might have been, but anyway, listen. This is the coolest thing about. I'm going totally off topic
my
here.
bad.
About Christoph Waltz in that movie and then in Django is he's like the worst person in the world in Inglourious Basterds, and then he's like the best person in the world in
I
Django.
know,
And
I
you're
thought that
just
was
like,
funny.
oh my god, this is so good. He can play both roles so well. That was
He
just
jokingly
awesome.
commented like Americans were too violent at the time.
Yeah. That was awesome. I love that guy. That guy's great.
Love him.
I've never seen any of those movies. We should do. What's the movie?
When Leonardo DiCaprio goes,
Inglourious Basterds.
I
We should do that first.
insist, and then he gets shot. It's so good. Spoiler alert.
She steals the key from the key ring to the wine cellar. Because when she goes down there,
Who'd she steal
the
it from?
butler is like, the only person who has the key is Mr. Sebastian. And he was like, she's like,
But
"Oh,
doesn't he
okay."
take it off the wall? Doesn't she take it off the wall?
the what? The key?
Yeah, isn't the key like on the wall? Because doesn't he
No, it's
look
on a
at it and sees
keychain.
it there?
Oh, like-
Okay.
It's on a keychain that he put on the desk.
Mm,
And then
alright.
she sees it because it says Unica, I believe. The lock brand. She takes it out, pockets it. Actually, she puts it in her hand. That's kind of there's a lot of mini suspenseful scenes.
Why does your
Wow.
water bottle say Adolf? Is that your big
I
fan?
don't know. I
Big
can't.
fan?
Freddie pointed
Yeah,
out the
big
other day,
fan.
and I was like, "What? Why does it say that?"
What
I thought you guys would. I thought you guys would like it.
What a rebel. There's a lot of mini suspenseful scenes, such as this one where she takes the key and palms it, and he comes out and he's like, I love you. And for some reason he like kisses her hand. So and he grabs one of her hands and kisses it, and then he grabs the other one with the key in it. And she like throws her arms around him and then drops the key from one hand to the other and then on the ground and flicks it
Yeah.
over and puts
Yeah.
her foot on it like that. From there was a lot of little, I can't remember what was there was. I'm sure there was more before that of those just little mini suspenseful scenes that those were what, because I know that's what Hitchcock is best at. I think
Yeah.
those are what I looked for, and those are what I tried to enjoy in a mostly boring movie.
Well, didn't you say that your mom used to make you watch or not make you, but you watched most of Hitchcock with your
We
mom?
watched a lot of Hitchcock when I was
Yeah.
young, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember. I mean, I remember the ones. I remember Vertigo, and I'm pretty sure I watched 39 Steps, and pretty sure I watched The Man Who Knew Too Much. We had like this another big VHS, but this was like a collection. This was like 9 movies, a collection of his movies. It was great.
My mom also introduced me to some great movies, and probably the best one was Goodfellas. She told me to watch Goodfellas, and I was like, "Oh shit, that was a great fucking
Yeah,
movie."
you were like 6 years old or what?
I was probably like 10.
Jake, do you have a mom?
I have a mom, yes.
Rad. So then, just kidding.
I remember her always talking about the birds. I remember.
Oh,
she would
nice.
always
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
Like she was
Definitely
afraid
watched
of
the
birds
birds.
because she saw the birds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
My mom
afraid of
traumatized
Jaws.
by Hitchcock.
My sister was afraid of Jaws. My sister was so afraid of Jaws. She thought Jaws was in the fucking toilet.
What?
Ouch.
She saw
Yeah.
Jaws on the
My sister
toilet?
used to be a brother,
She-
but Jaws cut off her nuts in the toilet.
She would just anywhere there was water, she would get afraid that Jaws was in there.
Wow.
Yeah, she was
That's-
fucking
that's-
like 5
that-
years old. She's
what
my
an-
mom
what
gave
an
me to watch it
idiot.
like 5 years old.
I
My
wouldn't
mom-
go in the jacuzzi because I was afraid Jaws was in there.
That's not much different than the toilet, really.
It's a little different.
Little different, but not
I
much.
I couldn't see the bottom of the jacuzzi. It was dark bottom.
Sure.
Jaws
Sure.
clearly couldn't fit into a jacuzzi.
You don't know that. I mean,
yeah, but you're a
it-
child.
You
so-
could put it in there. It maybe wouldn't like be all.
You
the
would
way
know
in,
it's
but-
in there.
I don't think it would fit.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
think
right.
it would fit. I
Actually,
think it's
Jaws
too
would
long.
not fit
What if it
underneath
came
the
from
water
the depths though?
of the jacuzzi.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Alright,
if
so-
somehow it.
so
if
that's how
we're
my sister
shifting
thought
in-
that
in-
Jaws
into
come
night-
from
if
the
we're
depth
shifting
of
in
the
a nightmare
sewers, you know?
world. It just like opens up this portal into Nightmare Jaws world, like
Like-
Freddy Krueger just coming out of like the bathtub, like
let's put it this way: it's the jacuzzi is almost like the toilet. It's almost there.
In
It's a
fact,
big- it's a
I don't
real
know.
big toilet.
I would say it's toilet might be better now because the jacuzzi's a closed system. You know,
Yeah, the toilet's got the
toilet
fucking
can like
door.
what the jaws could be in the sewer and just come
Mhm.
out of any
Yeah.
toilet.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough to be the one, then you know, bye
Is it-
bye.
is it-
Say bye
I'm
bye to your
pretty
Nazi
sure-
balls.
I'm pretty sure in Sharknado that there's sharks in puddles and shit. There's like Sharknado 6, there's like sharks in puddles and like
Just biting
in the
toes off.
drinking water and shit.
What?
Yeah, look that up. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Oh no!
Like they can attack from places. There's a Sharknado where they're in the sky and
And it freezes on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
what
I
they're
think
about.
I've only seen the
Sharknadoes.
first one.
It's a tornado shark with sharks in it. They're
That's
in the fucking
fucking
sky.
Obviously.
ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Hey, Anthony, did you ever watch Velocipaster? I don't know. You sent us a picture of that.
No, but did you read the?
Yeah,
did
it
you
sounds
read-
wild as fuck. That's what I'm asking. Did you actually watch it?
No.
It's only
The
70, I think it's
synopsis
70
for
minutes
it-
long, thankfully, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm
70
curious.
is it only 70 minutes?
I think it's at like 71 minutes when I looked at the screenshot you sent me.
Velocipaster. After losing his parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's wild.
I
That is
would.
wild.
I'm not gonna lie. I would watch the shit out of that.
Velocipaster.
It's
That's
on
what it's
Prime.
called.
Is that your next pick, Jake?
I guarantee
It's-
we have not done that, director.
We have not done that. That director. should
That
feel
wasn't gonna be
honored
my
he's
next
gonna
pick,
be
but
talked about on this podcast.
that
if we
director
pick
should
that pick.
come on this podcast. and
Totally
talk about
should.
it with
What's
us.
his name?
we
Find
should.
I
him.
don't know.
One of
He's
us,
God.
one of us have to screen it first. I think,
Jesus
instead of just
Christ
going right into it
himself.
cold.
Jake,
could be
I
real
think
bad.
you need to watch this movie when we finish this.
I might check it out, but it's not
You
gonna
and
be my
Churro.
next pick. Maybe
You and-
later.
You and Churro need to check this out.
Dude, she loves watching TV.
Her name is Churro and she's a girl. It's even better. I love it.
Yeah, she looks like a churro. Did you see her?
You should have named her Jennifer Lopez.
Well, I didn't even really name her. It was a sort of inherited, so I just kept it.
You didn't
Justin
even
got
want her.
this cat.
I always wanted it. Wanted it.
Who got this cat? You or Justin?
I did.
Well, what does Justin think?
He's
How-
he's for it.
All right,
You-
cool.
It was
Where's
forced
the, where's
upon
the litter?
Jake.
Where's
It
the
was
litter
not
box?
forced upon me. The litter box is in
The spare room.
The spare room, yeah. It just has a. That's the cat room now.
I was about
You-
to say now that room has a purpose, and that is the cat room. Good for that cat.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
Where did Churro come
Gotta
from? Was she
figure
a street cat?
yeah. It was a street cat that.
That's
my
what Martin
girlfriend kind of
Scorsese
inherited,
was. You want to hear
and
something
then, yeah.
crazy?
Nope.
My ex-girlfriend goes, "Yo, the person in my class said that they found a little black cat, and that if someone doesn't take it, they're gonna kill it because they're superstitious of black cats." And I said, "Well, maybe you should go get the cat." And we went and got the cat. So I also that's cat.
Wait,
that's
someone
cat.
was just gonna murk this cat because they didn't like
Yeah.
black cats?
Yeah, they were afraid of it or something.
Who?
The person's family who told us to come pick it up.
Who?
The
Who's
person that was
who?
in her makeup class. Remember, she was going. Alyssa was going to school for makeup effects. So the person in her class was like, "My family is going to kill this black cat." It was a kitten. It was a goddamn kitten. It was probably like it
Oh,
was still going.
kittens are easier to kill.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, "Fuck, that's crazy." So we got the cat.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Not a cat person
You're
myself.
welcome, Martin Scorsese. Yeah, but you'd rather a cat die than save a kitten? Kittens are fucking adorable.
Cats die every day. I'm
They
not,
do.
I'm not around
They do
adopting
die
every
every
single
day.
one.
I didn't say every single one.
So
I don't.
yeah,
I did.
guess I would rather
I
them
didn't
die
adopt
'cause
every
I
single
can't do
one.
it.
I adopted one.
Cool.
Anyway,
Fuck cats.
I want to meet Churro.
All right, fine.
I'll drown a cat right now.
You got to get Churro. I'm gonna get Churro a shirt so we can wear a shirt.
I'll throw a cat in the gutter where there are sharks and it will be eaten.
By a Velocipaster.
Jake, is that our next pick, dude? Is that your pick?
No.
We're not done with
It-
this
did we
movie.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
did
Oh,
we finish?
yeah.
Where were we? Did
Let's
we
We're
get
at
to the-
we're at the most iconic shot of the whole movie.
Is it the zoom down to her hand?
Yes, it's
Yes,
a
that
dolly.
was sick.
It's a dolly down. No zoom.
It was a dolly. They were on a crane and they went in.
Crane down.
Raining.
Which
very
is
Brian
very
De Palma, very Brian De Palma, which obviously is very Hitchcock. I'm just saying, probably took that shot from this movie.
Definitely.
very hard to do in
Yeah.
Palma
1946.
got a lot from Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And if you notice, it's the shot's kind of fucking wonky.
But you know what? I've seen old shots even in like those spaghetti westerns that are just as epic but are wonky. And I think back then, because the shot was so like, all right, there's a little shakiness, doesn't matter.
Well,
That's all right.
Also, there's no wireless monitors to see from
Exactly.
beginning
The
to
focus
end.
sometimes is in and out, but that's
you have
still
the
a great
beginning,
shot.
you
Yeah.
have the end. It
Yeah.
nails the end, and then
Yeah.
because it comes from all the way from the chandelier all the way up top, cranes
Yeah.
all the way down to her hand.
Tight
and
shot of her hand, like her gripping
shot.
the fucking thing. Yeah.
But the whole way down, she's in the she's cut off frame the whole way down, and then it comes down, and then it nails the hand, obviously, where you see the key that she now has. She passes it off. That's what's the. This is the climactic part here. I can't remember exactly what happens though. Oh, this is when Devlin shows up. We're 62 minutes in. This is where I think the tension rises. It starts like this is where it gets most interesting. Devlin shows up. Sebastian's jealous. She hands off the keys. This is what Schwartz was talking about, watching her the whole time. They're drinking, they're laughing, they're having a good time. He's watching his wife from a distance. She secretly hands the key to him as she says goodbye, shakes his hand. And then they're in a rush to get down to the cellar before the bartender needs more wine because he's running out of wine. And the only person that has the key to the cellar is Sebastian. And once he runs out of wine, he's got to go to Sebastian and ask him for the key to go down to the cellar. But Sebastian doesn't have the key. She has the key. And he's going to start figuring it out, which he just figures out right off the bat anyway. Once he sees that it's gone. Because what happens? They go down, they meet at the bottom. Well, actually, this is the most important part. They go in there and they're looking through the bottles. And in looking through the bottles, he knocks one off. It has some kind of dust in it, some kind of grains, black powder. He says maybe it's ore of some kind. He bags a little bit of it, puts the rest in another bottle that looks similar to the ones he broke, put the bottle back, got out of there before Sebastian came down, but they were still caught. They were down there, still caught. He sees them. His bright idea is to make out in front of him because that would be worse than if he found out what they were really doing.
Yeah,
which is probably not wrong. So he does that, deals with it. She just says he's drunk. He leaves. They go then he goes into the cellar. He's like, all right, let's go get the wine, homeboy, whatever the fucking bartender's name was. He realizes he doesn't have the key. He kind of figures it out right off the bat, right? He like looks up, looks over, looks at her, looks at her when she goes to bed. That is also when I noticed that there are two beds in the room. So it's funny that you talked about, you were saying like, yeah, there was two beds because of whatever kind of rating system that was going on. There was a kiss, kind of going back to that, the kiss thing that you were talking about. To get around, you couldn't show a kiss on screen for longer than so many seconds. So to get around that, Hitchcock shot 10 1-second kissing scenes and just cut from angle to angle, and got that. He still had this very intimate, very cute. And this is right in the beginning, I think, when they're kind of loving on each other a lot. And to get around the censors, he skirted around. It's an little early rebellion from
got around those S&Ps.
From the S&Ps. Anyways, back to the end. He figures it out. And the way he figures it out is he puts his keys back where he left them, where he leaves them every night without the key on it, goes to bed, wakes up, the key's now there. The only person that could have done that is his wife. Fucking figures it out immediately. Also, wasn't he pretty suspicious of Devlin being?
Yeah,
was he
I think he's
suspicious of him? Suspicious of him being like an American operative, or?
Yeah, he's kind of got that vibe, you know. He's suspicious of him just because of the ship with this chick. Like,
yeah, I know, but did he think like spy or?
That I don't know. I don't know
think
if
he thought he was just like dangerous in some way or something.
Because in the beginning, also,
exactly.
When they were in their first kind of meeting, she notices the other dude, and he straight up was like, "Oh yeah, that's a American intelligence guy." So
Boys.
I think he puts everything together pretty quick.
He does, yeah.
Goes to his mommy, wakes her up, which is probably my favorite scene when he's like, I'm married to an American spy. And she like gets up, goes like reaches one hand over, pops open a cigarette, puts it in her mouth, lights it in bed, just smoking in bed. And she just goes, basically, we got to kill her. You fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And
they don't want it to leak that he married a spy. He's going to look
yeah,
bad.
Again, they reference the guy who disappeared. Remember what happened to
Yeah.
this guy?
The
Just
ruthless.
for fucking making a fuss about wine. If they figure out you're married to an American spy, then they're gonna fucking kill you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So their plan is to slowly poison her, which they do.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks. She didn't really want to be in this at all. He put her in this situation. She embraces it. They fall in love. They fall out of love. She goes so far that she's now just going to be dying for the cause.
Yeah.
For
It's
what?
all about. I mean, I feel like the theme of this movie is like trust and who you can trust and who you can trust to like have your best interests in mind. Like all one of them had to do, and either one of them would say, "Hey, let's not do this," and it would never happen. They would have gone away and been happy, but neither of them do. Like so, that's the thing. I think that's like the human condition. It's like you're just pride and. I mean, they're young too. They're not old. They're probably like our age. You know what I mean? So they're still like living their prime. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Not a healthy relationship. You got to be open and honest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Well, pride pride to get the job done. They have
that. Yeah, they have too much of that.
He wanted to get the job done. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like she wanted more than anything to just run away with him. But because of his diligence to get the job done and his pride of his job, for his job, she kind of counters that with her own, like, all right, well, because she also knows that he loves her, so she counters it with her own fucking, all right, you want me to go and do my thing? I'll go do my thing. What else?
Ooh, I'll suck your guys' dicks.
They figure out that the sand was like uranium, so the Nazis were making bombs.
Mm-hmm.
She also finds out Devlin moving to Spain for some reason. He's out of here, but they still have a few more meetings left.
Which upsets her
for sure.
But then, yeah, but you were talking about the poison. They were going to poison her, right?
They're poisoning her right off the bat. They started to
slowly.
poison. They began to poison her. The mom. They put stuff in her tea.
Yeah, there's that.
She gonna die.
That one cool scene where like do they just add too much one time, or is it just enough?
I don't know, because
it was
like
blacks out
in that last scene when she realizes that, because for now a while, like she goes to the one guy and he's like, "Are you all right? You look tired or whatever." She's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." Like the sun just bothers me, so he closed the blinds. That's when like I don't think she knows. She just knows she's unwell. She doesn't know she's being poisoned. Then she goes and meets Cary Grant again, and here she looks bad. And I think intermittently we see her hanging out and drinking tea with her husband and the mom, and she looks bad when she meets Cary Grant. And he's like, "You look fucking bad." She was like, "Nah, I'm cool. I'm just." She says she's hungover. She goes, "I'm just hungover." And then she goes back and she's drinking tea with them. They're like, we should go on a vacation, maybe to Spain for some reason. And then she's drinking the wine. Oh, the other dude's there, and he's like looking at her. He's like, "She looks fucking real bad, guys." And he's like, no, she's fine. And then he accidentally picks up the wrong tea. Again, we know something that the characters do not.
Message.
And he almost drinks it, and both the mom and the husband are like, whoa, don't do that. Which at that point is just like, just let him do it. Let him get a little sick. You don't want to blow your fucking boat here. But that's when she notices, oh, they stopped him for doing that. She's a very perceptive woman, which is probably why they wanted her to do this, other than her dad being who he was. She was very good. She was very good at the job she was given. She figured out a bunch of shit.
Smart.
So yeah, she figured out she was being poisoned, and for some reason, that's like, I don't know if they gave her too much or whatever, or that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Because she started freaking out, seeing silhouette and shit. It started getting real weird. And then he just busts in and saves the day, really.
Yeah, you realize she's been missing for a while, and then
Yeah, how does he realize that? He's talking to someone and they're like, yeah, we haven't seen her in weeks.
yeah,
He looked sick.
Yeah, he puts it all together, and then goes checks on her.
Yeah,
Here she's there.
it's just so boring. Like that's why it's just that's all there is to it. Yeah, he's like, well, I haven't seen her in weeks. And
Yeah,
someone else is like, yeah, that's what he's talking to someone. And he's like, oh, she's sick,
missed,
huh? Like
yeah, she's missed
she
like
said,
a few
she said
meetings.
she was hungover. And then he calls and they're like, no, she's sick. And then he goes over there. He's waiting. He sees the mom go into the bedroom, and then he goes up in there and he fucking grabs her and saves the day. He grabs her. I mean, I guess this is another little mini climactic part because the whole thing is he's in a meeting with his Nazi bosses right now, Sebastian. So if anything gets leaked to them about what's going on, about the fact who she is, then he's fucking dead man. So he goes up, he's taking her down, and he's like, he knows that he's a free man because he nobody can say anything, and Sebastian is like torn between what to do because he wants to finish the job, but he also doesn't want to make a scene. So he ends up letting her go. He ends up playing the game, playing with her. The mom immediately is like, oh no, she's going to the hospital. She's sick. And it was like, okay. And so the plan was to everybody get in the car and go, and then they'll play the game. But Cary Grant locks the car and not letting Sebastian in. Sebastian pleads with them, if you leave me here, they're going to know something's up and they're going to fucking kill me. And he's like, that's your fucking, I think his exact words were, that's your headache. And then they take off. They live happily ever after. Great shot of coming back up, him going up the stairs. Us seeing the Nazis realize what's going on.
They say to him, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, I have something to talk to you about. Because he comes out, he goes, there's no, they're like, damning evidence was there's no phone in her room. And they're like, she must be an American spy. I don't know what else led them to that point, but either way, he dead. And his mama dead too.
You think she dies or you think she gets better?
I think she gets better.
I think she gets
like
better.
they're taking her to the hospital. I think that's
they kiss again. Isn't that? Don't they have a little exchange at the end? Oh, do you really love me? And she's like, why didn't you tell me you love me? He's like, because I thought you're a fucking whore. But that kind of thing shouldn't matter. So they live happily ever after.
Like a lot of the movie, it's very
ambiguous.
Open, yeah, ambiguous, yeah. Open, so it's open ended a little bit with both parties. Like what's going to happen to Claude? He's probably, or is that his name?
And the Nazis,
Sebastian.
the Nazis don't necessarily lose either.
No, Sebastian loses.
That's true. Sebastian's the biggest loser of the bunch. He wasn't even that like menacing of a bad guy, really. He was just kind of just another dude.
Yeah, he kind of felt bad for him because she played him
a little bit at the end.
You can't feel bad.
It was an interesting ending.
Nazi.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for Nazis. I feel bad for the situation that this guy was put in.
He got outplayed.
He did.
When you're a Nazi, you gotta be playing the game 24/7, head on a swivel.
It's probably a good call. If you're gonna be a huge piece of shit like a Nazi, you better watch your back.
Watch your back.
Watch your back. Some people had no choice. Some people had to be Nazis.
All right. So, what of all the Hitchcock movies we've seen? And I'll tell you the ones that I've seen that I can remember that were like memorable. I've seen obviously Psycho. I think Psycho is my favorite just because of how good it is. And then Vertigo, South by Southwest, and Rear Window. Those
North by
and Birds.
Northwest.
Sorry, yeah, North by Northwest. And then Birds. Those movies I can like give you plot points of and like tell you like scenes of, but besides for that, I cannot.
I'm with you there. I was looking at his filmography and I was kind of like, fuck, I haven't seen most of them.
Actually, my favorite one I forgot to mention is Rope. Rope is in there too.
Rope's a good one.
That's like my favorite one just because of what it is and like what he was trying to do with it.
Did you guys ever watch his show?
A little bit.
I watched the shit out of that.
Is that all different stories?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
They're like
does he
mini-
direct them all?
It's like a Twilight Zone-y kind of thing.
Yes. I mean,
He does.
he's
I don't. I think he's
credited.
the producer. I
He's
think
credited
he's
as
the producer.
directing them all.
Really?
Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock presents. Let me click on
Okay.
this one.
That's interesting.
Directed by Alfred Hitchcock. There
No,
might be like written by a bunch of different people, but
Well, he hasn't written most of his shit. I kind of
No.
also
Yeah, yeah.
discovered this. Most of his movies, or I don't know if he wrote any of his movies,
I don't
other
think
than
he.
some like early ones. I think
He
may have.
he was the kind of guy who would just go to like screenwriters and be like, "Yo, this is
Yeah.
the idea. These are the characters. You write."
He's
it,"
like
and
he's like a Scorsese.
yeah,
a
or a Fincher.
Scorsese.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that, I think
Or Fincher,
Fincher
too.
is the
Yeah.
modern day Hitchcock with the movies he makes, like The Game,
Yeah, the vibes. and
Panic
shit, yeah,
Room.
Yeah.
fucking what was the other one? Gone Girl. Like they're like rated R Hitchcock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you also said someone else. Who was it? You had some good points with the person you said too. Who was the person you said?
I may have said Jordan Peele because like
Jordan
this
Peele, sure. His
psychological
movies are psychological.
kind of horror esque.
I don't think
to it.
us necessarily.
More so Get Out. Get Out.
Get
could've
Out,
been, like,
sure.
a
Get Out could have been a
Hitchcock-esque
Hitchcock film
movie.
for sure. Yeah. But I think Fincher, even Denny Villeneuve with fucking like, because Hitchcock could have made Prisoners. You know, it could have been a Hitchcock movie in a way.
Mhm.
But they just got that dark, mysterious tone. You know.
Sure.
De Palma.
De Palma for sure. De
Palma
Palma was
kind of was like the
De
next
Palma's like
generation.
perverted Hitchcock. The movies are perverted. That's what it
Right.
is.
I remember The Birds, Psycho. Did you ever watch To Catch a Thief?
No, I've seen Strangers on a Train. I've seen Strangers on a
Rear
Train,
Window, Dial M for Murder,
Yes, I've seen that.
the original Perfect Murder,
I've seen that.
Strangers on a Train.
The Catch a
Remake
Thief
of
was
that? Is
like
that the one Michael Douglas?
similar to
Yeah.
this one, and with Cary Grant as like the leading man, but it was a little more comedic, I think, than this.
I mean, the dude's fucking legendary, and he directed
Yeah.
52 movies. That's a lot. Like the only
For
other
sure.
director
I
modern
definitely
day
haven't
that's
watched
got
most of
close
them.
to that is Scorsese. I think Scorsese got like 30 movies, and that's a
He
fucking lot.
Directed
And Spielberg
the
too. Spielberg too.
Mhm.
original Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes, but I looked that up. That's not the same movie. It's a slapstick comedy. I looked at it. I was like,
A couple
Did he
who have
direct
been
an
married for
original
3
version?
years are shocked to learn that their marriage is not legally valid.
yeah, it's nothing to do with the
Ruh-roh.
killing people thing. That's the difference. It's just it says slapstick comedy on it.
You're a slapstick.
I think my favorite's Rear Window. That's a really good one.
It's a great
in my
one.
opinion.
Psycho to me is just my favorite. I don't know why.
Psycho's great.
Psycho's great. Rear Window's great. Rear Window's great. That's been remade a bunch of times.
Disturbia
has,
was the best
yeah.
remake in my opinion.
Disturbia.
That was a great
There
movie.
That's a
was that
great
one
movie.
with Amy Adams recently. that was
Disturbia.
really bad.
JJ something director.
JJ.
No, he's directed by Jack Cannon's friend, the guy who made To Live and Die in L.A. and fucking not To Live and Die in L.A. The one you love, with
Salt
Val
and Sea.
Kilmer. Salt and Sea, yeah. DJ Caruso.
DJ, not JJ.
Yeah,
DJ.
that's Jack
Caruso.
Cannon's child. I mean, not child, but his
I know, what
college
you're talking
roommate.
about. That's great.
College roommate. Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan.
He did the
Let's-
newest version of Triple X, FYI, with Ice Cube a
Oh, I missed that one.
couple of years back.
Damn.
Yeah. But Disturbia, he did Disturbia too, which was an amazing film. That movie
Disturbia is great.
awesome. Disturbia is that's the movie that made me like Shia LaBeouf, honestly.
Yeah, Rear Window's definitely been like remade, spoofed more than
Sure.
a lot of. I mean, his stuff is also Psycho. Psycho is a huge thing that's been clearly remade by Gus Van Sant, shot for shot, but also
Shot for
like
shot.
the spoofs of it, like the creepy mother, and then the shower scene alone is iconic, and
Yeah.
we've seen it in so many different
Spoofed.
formats. Yeah, spoofed in so many different
Spoof
ways.
the fuck out of that.
Like
Dial M for
The
Murder is
Simpsons
pretty
has done a
classic.
bunch. I don't know if I'm not sure if I've seen that. I don't remember what that's about.
Dial M is a guy has someone come and kill his wife, and he leaves a key out, and like he comes and kills, but she ends up killing him, and
Okay.
then the husband has to like backtrack and like hide all his crimes and figure, you know,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
I've never
eventually
seen that, I
figures-
guess. That
That
sounds
sounds
cool.
familiar.
You never seen? Have you seen A Perfect Murder?
With Michael Douglas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. almost,
Exact-
yeah. It's the same
exact
thing,
same.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, there was like a time I want to say like college.
Exact same, more blood.
Where I did like a Hitchcock kick where I watched a bunch of them, and some of them I don't think stood out as much, and that may have been one of them. But but I've probably only seen maybe like 10 of his movies. Now that I really look at his filmography,
Strangers on a Train is a good one too. It's just fun.
that I'm questioning whether or not I saw that one. I'm not
Danny
sure. if I've
DeVito
seen
made
that.
a movie called Throw Mama from the Train,
Yeah,
which is a
yeah.
remake of that with him and Billy Crystal when they were really young, and it's fucking hilarious. It's Danny DeVito directed it too.
Aren't they gonna do a remake, or were they considering doing a remake of that movie
No,
with like some big name people, like Fincher or something?
You're thinking. Yeah. Okay,
Is
yeah. Fincher,
thinking about remaking
Fincher,
that?
and the writer of Gone Girl. What's her name? Gillian Flynn. She was
Okay.
gonna write the script, and then it was gonna be the reuniting of Edward Norton and Brad Pitt and David Fincher.
Oh wow, that'd be dope.
Yeah, so hopefully that happens.
Yeah. I don't know why I was picturing Ben Affleck detached. I don't know why.
Well, he was part of the writing and producing, but it was for
Oh,
Edward Norton,
gotcha.
I think, and then
Or Norton Pitt.
yeah.
I mean, I'll take a Damon and Affleck time. That'd be sweet too.
Daffleck,
Those Affleck, put them together, plotting murders,
P&Ms.
talking about Boston.
The new Fincher flick sounds awesome. It's fucking about a high-paid fucking assassin who has like a existential crisis, and he's got to like complete a job, but he's like going insane. Played by Michael Fassbender.
Oh, nice.
MFB.
Yeah,
When's that come out?
I think the end of this year or early next year. It's a Netflix movie.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the infamous cameo from the director
Yeah,
of this
at the
movie?
bar. Yeah, I did. I saw it at the bar.
At the what? Oh,
Hitchcock was at the
cameo?
bar. He drank
Yeah.
champagne and walked away as they walked up.
Very quick.
So where do you guys rank this thing on our list? This is a hard one because I respect this movie because of what it is, but it's not going to go very high. Like it's a Hitchcock movie, but it's not going to break the top 50.
Yeah, it's I almost wish knowing that we haven't seen, I picked this one because I had never seen this one and I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I mean the premise is super interesting.
I wish I would have picked like I wish I would have picked a little more iconic one now, knowing that you guys, or at least Jake, hasn't seen that one.
I don't think I've seen it.
But whatever.
Yeah,
I
it's all
digress.
good. It was still cool.
Yeah.
To catch a
It
thief.
it
great.
made me want to rewatch some old one or watch some new ones, because I watched also To Catch a Thief last night, and I never saw that, and I
That's a
enjoyed
good movie.
it. Yeah, I like that as well.
That's a good
Who
movie.
was
So
in that one?
it's kind of thrown. It's another Cary Grant pick,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then I forgot the female lead. Blanking on her name. She's another
Grace
big name.
Kelly.
Grace Kelly. Yes, there we go.
Mm.
Yeah, her, and about like a burglar, a cat burglar. And how
Cat
he's like-
burglar.
He was like a famous burglar, and
And she fucks
He-
with him. She is she. I'm sorry.
She-
Go ahead.
people. Well, I don't want to give too much away. Just about him, like realizing that people are, or someone's out there, basically redoing the same
Yeah.
crimes as him. Like he was like the expert cat burglar, and his style kind of was iconic. And then people are just is doing what he was doing, the way he was stealing from people.
A retired jewel thief sets out to prove his innocence after being suspected of returning to his former occupation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So him like working with the cops to like discredit this person, sort of. It's cool.
You know
Check it
what's
out.
a
It's on some
interesting-
stuff.
Interesting movie is have you guys seen Rope? Have you guys seen Rope?
Yes.
Yeah, that was another one I could remember better. I don't remember it as well, but I definitely saw it years ago.
That to me is the most Fincher of Hitchcock movies for sure. Just the tone and the overall just what's
Yeah.
going on.
That'd be
All
another
right, cool.
interesting
So where do you
pick.
guys rank it on our list? Or your list, or Anthony's special number game?
I got a
movie?
spot. I put it in
God,
40.
I'm still on the
six.
list, idiot.
Your list,
Yeah.
idiot.
Gonna get to 100, dog. Let's get there. 46.
You're
pretty,
gonna get 100 dogs.
pretty middle ground. 46 out of 93 films thus far.
What does it sandwich between?
It's sandwiched between Pan's Labyrinth and Death Proof. It's better than Death Proof, not as good as Pan's
That's
Labyrinth.
a good 3 directors right there. That's a
Right?
pretty good.
And then
three.
right above Pan's Labyrinth is like Sisters, Blood Simple, Die Hard, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Damn, that's a lot of good
And,
directors
yeah,
in that.
so
in that
we
category.
got some good spots there in the middle.
Where'd you put it?
46.
Okay, I'm close to that too. I'm
Where
at
you at?
40. I'm at 43.
interesting. Interesting.
43, and that's sandwiched between Black Christmas and Once Upon a Time in the West.
Ooh, three
pretty good.
total different movies.
And
I'm
right
gonna
above
go-
Once Upon a Time in the West is Sunset Boulevard, which I do think is
Damn, you should move that down for sure.
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie. The one where
Oh,
she was
down.
crazy.
Yeah, not
You
up.
should- that-
up
I mean,
yours.
that
down
should
is,
be.
down is an
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, I mean, I
meant-
think. I
I'm
mean,
with
that
you.
should be in your top 20. I feel.
I'm with you. I could rethink that.
Yeah, that's in the 40s.
Where's
Damn,
my
that's
shit?
crazy.
I think mine's around 20. My
I think
Sunset
mine's top
Boulevard.
10. I think. At least I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Your Sunset Boulevard is number 10 on your list.
Yeah,
My Sunset Boulevard's number 33. That's not okay. Well,
that's pretty high too.
yeah. It's right above the Goonies. The Goonies is it's a troubling place at 34 for me. I love that movie.
All right, I'm gonna make the move. I'm gonna make the move right now.
Where are you putting it?
Oh shit.
26. No, 25. I'm gonna put it at 25. Sunset Boulevard from 41 to 25.
That's a good jump. What's the sandwich between now?
It's right above Inside Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, and right below Death Proof.
Interesting. Interesting.
I mean,
And
these
Death
are
Proof's
the,
high on your list. I
these
like
are the
that.
movies we chose.
I like that. Those are great movies. That's just three different types of movies.
So Sunset Boulevard is now at 25, which makes this at 42 now. I think.
Okay. I'm going 80.
80.
Yeah.
80.
Wow, rough.
My problem is when I watch these old films that like they're just super simplistic and like the plots are obvious in ways and the way they figure things out is a little too easy. I can't really get into it.
Yes.
Can't really take it seriously.
But your
so that's why.
argument that you can't respect it for the time it came out, this is this borderline groundbreaking movie.
Great movie. But on the list of movies we've watched, it doesn't hold that time. Hold that.
I can't disagree.
All right, 79.
Nice.
79.
What did I put it at? 43. 42. What did I rank this at? Where's my rank?
I thought you said like 42 or 43. Something
Yeah,
like that.
no,
His
about my
number.
rank.
I'm curious to see his number two.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm curious to see his number two.
5.8. So I
What's
guess
your
I got
highest ranking so far?
no, it's not.
No, I said
Pig.
what is your highest ranking so far?
Oh,
Pig.
I think Pig
At what's the number?
5.9, but that's just when I started.
So all yours are in the fives, huh?
No. Witches. Why did I do Witches for some reason? 4.3125. That can't be for Witches. That must be for Almost Famous. Boom. 4.3 for Almost Famous.
And this is out of 10, right?
Yeah.
So none of the movies that you've ranked have been over a 5.8.
Oh, Goodwill Hunting, 6.66. Oh no, that's for Drag Me to Hell. Why are all my because I'm fucking adjusting. I see. I gotta adjust everything. Drag Me to Hell, 6.66.
That's your highest one.
That's my highest one.
And
And you
that
know
was a
what? I didn't even
coincidence?
mean to do that.
That's interesting. That's super interesting.
Is that when you started the thing?
I think that's the first one I did, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't, Royal Tenenbaums probably a fucking 9, 8.9, something
You
like
should
that.
do Royal Tenenbaums. That's your number one, right? I want to see what number you get. I'm not saying I do it right now, but do it before the next one and
All
see
right.
what number, 'cause I'm really curious.
I'd love to do all of them. I'd love to go down all of them and see, because I'm ranking them. I'm trying to rank them without like aside from the list, and then put them on the list and see if my rankings line up with my list.
Yeah.
And so I would try to do all of them. It'd be rad, but that's a lot of movies.
All right. Well, watch Hitchcock movies. They're good, and he's a master.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Shout
start
out to
checking
the
out more
Big
of them.
Cat. Shout out to Danny and Tiara. Shout out to Greg's mom.
Greg's mom.
Who's Greg?
Whatever that guy's name you worked with in Utah.
Oh, Reed. Shout out to
Reed's
Reed.
mom.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Reed.
Churro. We should start shouting out Churro now, just because that's funny. I like cats.
Uh,
Shout out to the cats.
should we
All the cats in
plan
the land.
now on, since we didn't do cocktail next week? Cocktail.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe if Lou does it, yeah.
if it's gonna be the everlasting. Next time is cocktail.
All
And
right,
we
next
never
time
get to
cocktail.
Cocktail.
But if it's not cocktail,
Maybe.
it is.
It is.
I think I was gonna go with the fighter.
You're really going to waste your David O. Russell on this movie.
How is that a waste of a David O. Russell?
Because his new movie is going to be awesome. And it's new.
You don't know that, and
It's
it's
new.
and I don't feel like waiting like a full year for this other random movie to come out. I'd rather just watch one of his movies and we can talk about other movies. He's got a lot of good movies.
Watch cocktail
Watch Cocktail.
And watch The Fighter, just in case.
and watch the fighter. Is that your final choice, Jake?
I guess.
Bad choice.
Yes. Well,
Anyway, that's the choice, though. We live and die by these bad choices Jake makes.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what
This is-
happens. But definitely
Maybe?
watch Cocktail.
Maybe watch The Fighter?
Maybe watch
Lou's
The
gonna
Fighter?
say yes to Cocktail? I don't know. We'll see.